Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the 7-Minute Spotlight, where we take a look at stories, ideas, and concepts for encouragement and inspiration. And today is a very personal story. And for context and time setting, it's the first week of June in 2026, and I'm celebrating the 1-year anniversary of having a heart attack. And the story goes like this. It was a little over a year ago. I was feeling a lot of discomfort, and I will have to confess and admit, not really taking care of myself, not watching, my activity, not watching what I eat, things like that. And slowly but surely, things started to deteriorate, just not feeling good. And I knew I had to do something, and I prayed about it, and I did get an answer. And it's an interesting answer because very clearly God said to me, "Steve, you are healed." He didn't say, "Steve, you're going to be healed." He said, "Steve, you are healed." And I thought, okay. And then also, you're going to have to do something about it. And I thought, okay, great. Diet and exercise, I'm going to get on this. Well, a few days later, I'm in the hospital in the emergency room. They schedule me for a stress test for the next day. And that morning, I'm having other episodes in my upper chest and arm and things like that. And the physician's assistant for the cardiologist was in the room, and she said, "I'm making an executive decision. You are not going for a stress test. You're going through cardio catheterization." And so that day, about 1:30 or something like that, I was wheeled down to the surgery room, and I was awake through the whole process. The way they do it is so amazing today. But I had 2 stents put into my heart. Mary was in a waiting room, and we had a dear friend waiting with her. Karen is her name. And Karen is a retired nurse, but she explained a lot of things to Mary about how the catheterization works and what the stents would do. And it's very amazing. And about 45 minutes later, the procedure was done. I was taken back to my room. And the thing that we learned, though, from the cardiologist is that the main artery, that's called the widowmaker, was 95% blocked. Then there was one other artery on the backside of the heart that was 100% blocked. The cardiologist said that pretty much I had just gotten there in the nick of time. And that happened on a Monday. And on Tuesday, I went home. And Wednesday, I was back to some of my normal activities and felt good in that I was breathing better. Overall, I just felt better. And here I am a year later celebrating that has gone by. And the story behind the story, though, and I believe that there's more than one of them, is that I had to know what was going on, and I prayed about it, and God's answer that I was healed. But I'm going to stay true to this statement. I am here today for 2 reasons. One, the grace of God. The second one is the miracle of modern medicine. The fact that they can just go in through your wrist with a tiny device and place it in your heart, and that opens up the artery. 40 years ago, this probably would have been fatal. But I'm here today to continue to tell stories and to run our business and to interact with people because of the grace of God and the miracle of modern medicine. The fact that people have been able to advance technology to we can have life-saving procedures like this is truly a miracle. And I am just so pleased and so honored that I'm living at this time when something like this was available for me. And so now, as I continue my journey through life, I do want to have some shout outs to people that have encouraged me, because it's time for me to continue on. And continue on is whether I run the business or I step back or I have an opportunity to encourage and impact other people. God definitely has a mission for me, and that is really to share stories and to have impact from those stories. Not an impact on me, but does that impact affect other people? And I've had instances where somebody has told me that something that I shared with them made a change in their life. Even had employees thank us for their job because they were able to buy a house or they were able to do something. I remember one fellow that worked for me had never really gone on a nice trip with his wife for an anniversary, and they were able to take 2 or 3 weeks and go to Germany. He had served there in the at the point in time when he was in the Army. It was one of the bases that he was stationed at. And I didn't make that possible. He made it possible, and God provides everything. Sometimes I'm just a conduit that things flow through to get to other people. But when we have an impact on others, we can understand that life doesn't stop at 62 or 65 or 70 as far as we make no more contributions. We can continue to contribute to society. We can continue to contribute to God's work up until our last breath. And a shout out today, particularly for my friend Norb that lives in California. Because when I was in the hospital, he had sent me a text, asked how I was doing fine, but I want to get out of here. Time to get something going. And he just wrote back, way to go, Caleb. Many of you may not know the story, but when the Israelites returned to the promised land, they had sent previously 12 spies to check out the land. 10 of them were afraid, but 2 of them, Joshua, see, I'm all mixed up. Joshua and Caleb were the 2 that had faith, that had confidence that we can enter the land. And Caleb, at the age of 85, was able to enter the promised land because of his commitment, not just to faith, but his commitment to having an impact on the people around him. So I don't say that to boast. I say that for energy because Norb pointed the way for me. So what do you think? What is your Caleb moment? What's going on in your life that moves you to have an impact of other people? Our contact information is always on the screen. Feel free to reach out to us with your stories, your comments. We'd love to hear from you. God bless you all, and we'll see you on the next one. And go out and be a Joshua, be a Caleb today, because it does matter. God bless.